What is going on, all of you amazing gamers out there in the world? I am MegaAmpster. Thank you for checking out this YouTube video. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, thanks for being here. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Now, there's going to be some spoilers for Sonic Prime in this, of course. I am going to be referring to probably all 3 seasons. You know, obviously, this 3rd season just came out. Well, I say just came out. It's been a couple weeks as of this recording, and the whole thing was released on Netflix, and this is the final season of Sonic Prime. This is where they wrap up the entire story that has lasted all 3 seasons. So, spoiler warning for Sonic Prime. I'm just going to be going full out on spoilers and kind of talking about why this show, like overall, my overall thoughts on this show. It's okay. It's okay. I think it has its moments. I think it also has its not so great moments, but there's definitely a bit of back and forth. This show does good stuff well that other Sonic shows don't. Especially, I mean, the big one I'm going to compare it to is Sonic Boom, which was the previous Sonic cartoon we had before Sonic Prime. But also just talking about season 3 and why I kind of thought it was a bit of a letdown in terms of just ending the show. Overall, the concept of the show, very interesting. I mean, kind of cliche. You know, a lot of these companies, especially look at like the MCU, are doing the whole multiversal idea, and that's really what the show is focused on, right? The idea of Sonic going to these different worlds that have characters who are similar to the characters he knows, but not quite. And the first season, as a result, was kind of generic to me because of that, where it was literally just Sonic going to the different worlds, like New York, the pirate world, the jungle world, all of those, and just like meeting the different characters. And that was kind of like it. There wasn't really much beyond that. Season 2 for me was my favorite season, not only because Shadow gets introduced and cool stuff happens there, but you actually start to get to see, and this is what I was hoping for earlier on, was the characters from different universes interact with each other. And that was really cool to see, like Pirate Amy and Rusty Rose from New York like fight the Eggman Council together. I've shared my thoughts on the Eggman Council before. I'm not a big fan of them, except for like maybe the leader. He's fine, but he's literally just Eggman, and the rest are just kind of annoying. But it's like, it ties into the whole multiversal concept. There are multiple iterations of each classic Sonic character that you are familiar with. So I made sense that they would do it. The idea of like, I like the idea of visiting the different worlds and like the characters interacting. And to be honest, Shadow kind of does that. He kind of sparks that in season 2 with all the characters interacting and Sonic having to go through and collect the different gems. Shadow is great, honestly. This is the best Shadow's been written, in my opinion, in any of the media for Sonic for a while. I would argue since like even like Adventure 2, this might be the best Shadow we've had since Adventure 2. I think the voice actor, I don't know off the top of my head, does a great job in season 2, and he's in season 3 as well in particular. So that he did a really good job. Just his character is way more interesting. I don't know, just like in Sonic Boom, for example, he was just very edgy just for the sake of being edgy, and even some of the later, more recent Sonic games have done that. But they're clearly starting to pull away from that, which is great to see. I hope they bring Shadow into the games again now as a result of that. With this character arc, I think that'd be great. He's great in this show, and like most of the characters are pretty good. The main exceptions I mentioned were like the Egg Council, but like Sonic, I think is pretty good. I will say he's kind of stupid at times, like more so than he should be. Like Sonic is not the brains of the group by far. Like obviously Tails is really smart, Eggman of course, and even some of the others. But like he's not an idiot, you know. And like there are some moments, especially in season 3, where they kind of make him out to be really stupid. I don't know. So it's just like, you know, there were some moments like that kind of made me like, but like the voice actor does a great job. Almost all the voice acting, honestly, I would say all the voice acting across the board is pretty decent. It's pretty good, I will say. Which is great because it's a completely brand new cast. Even Eggman, I don't believe is Mike Pollock, but feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I think they all do a great job for sure. There were some moments, and this will go more into season 3 with 9 specifically. It's not the voice actor's fault, it's the writing's fault, where he almost went a bit too dark. Now, like I said, this will be one more spoiler warning for season 3 here in particular. The whole season, and this is why I think it's a bit of a letdown. It's a cool idea because at the end of season 2, you know, they're collecting all the shards, trying to put them together to create the Shatter Space shard, whatever it's called again. The one that creates the Shatter Space. They collect all the pieces, they're trying to put it together, and it ends up backfiring because 9 is trying to create his own world in this place called, what is it, the Void? I think the Void, the Null, not Null Space, that's Sonic Frontiers. It's making me up with the soundtrack we're listening to here. Whatever it's called, the Grim, that's what it's called, the Grim. He's trying to form his own world, like a fresh start, where Sonic just wants to bring back Green Hill and his friends. And Nine's like realizes that. very late on, I don't know why, into like at the very end of season 2, and is like, wait a minute, I don't want to do this. And so he takes the shards and goes to the Grim to construct his own world, regardless of what Sonic thinks. And so he's kind of played up to be the main antagonist of season 3, which I think is a really cool idea. The issue, and this is the big issue with season 3, besides like the first 1 or 2 episodes and the last 1 or 2 episodes, the entirety of the season, there's what, 7 episodes, I believe? They all take place in the Grim in the exact same battle. And this is my biggest issue with season 3. It felt so drawn out for the sake of being drawn out. And I honestly bet you part of it is Netflix's show structure, where maybe they originally only wanted to have 2 seasons or 2.5 seasons. I don't know. But like Netflix was like, you got to make a full 3rd season. And so they did. And so like at least 4 or 5 of the episodes in between are literally in the same exact spot, in the same exact battle. And it's literally just 9 creating hordes upon hordes of robot duplicates. It was so exhausting. And like as a result, like, yes, it was cool to see the different characters interact with each other. Like I love seeing the Amy's together, Rusty Rose, the Pirate Amy, Thorn from the Jungle World, like come together and interact. Like I think that was really, really fun. And they definitely like had all the characters combined. I will say, speaking of Sonic Forces again, it does remind me of the final battle in Forces and how cringy it was. It was just so drawn out. It did not need to be that drawn out. It really didn't, and it honestly ruined the season for me. Season 3, I think, is the worst season out of the 3. Season 2 is my favorite, but it's unfortunate because it ends at kind of an place. Now, the final, like, actual ending after this long, drawn-out 4-episode arc of just robots upon robots is pretty solid. You know, them, Sonic bringing back Green Hill, the other universes being saved and still existing, which I don't know how that works, but I'm not going to question it. There was kind of a teaser at the finale of season 3 at the end that, like, maybe leaves room open for more future stuff. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this is the exact end of it. So I don't know. It was just unfortunate that pretty much the whole season was like that. The beginning was more interesting and the end was more interesting, but in between it was just so weird. And like something about 9, like I get that he's conflicting with Sonic's ideals, but he felt way too like evil. And like they were saying, oh, 9 showing his true colors. 9 was not built up to be an evil character, just misunderstood, and obviously has his own goals and holds a grudge. I don't think it's believable that he would go to the lengths he does to pretty much kill everybody, including Sonic. Like I don't understand that. And then so when Sonic finally confronts him, and 9 actually, you know, becomes good, or like realizes his mistake and becomes good again, it's too much of a difference. I think there are some moments where they make out 9 to be straight up evil, and I don't get it. It should have been a lot more just conflicted than evil, and unfortunately he came across as like evil in some scenarios, which I really did not agree with. And just an overall quality of the show, the writing itself is not great. Like it's very, I mean, it's a show for kids. At the end of the day, this is a show for kids. But like compared to something like Sonic Boom had really smart writing. I don't know if any of you have watched that show. I mean, it's a completely different tone of show, much more comedic. That show was. There are some moments here, but that show was much more comedic. And I think overall, I still think this is better than Sonic Boom. This is more of a Sonic show, which is great. Whereas Sonic Boom, I think, had the better writing, but it just wasn't really as much of a Sonic show because of that writing. But the writing I still think was better overall. It was just much more entertaining. Some of the writing here could be a little cringy, but certain characters are definitely better than others. 9, I wish they didn't make him so evil at the very end for whatever reason. Didn't really feel like it fit his character. Shadow is great. Sonic, I wish he was a little less stupid. You know, I mean, he's very hot-headed. He runs into things without thinking, but he's still smarter than they make him out to be, you know? So, I don't know. Like, maybe it's just because I've been reading the IDW comics a lot, and compared to that, I don't know, he seems so much smarter in those. But that's kind of the major issue. With the overall show, I think, is really the writing. But Season 3 in particular, my big issue was just how drawn out that fight scene at the end was. It just felt like it didn't need to be that long. It could have been like 2, maybe 3 episodes, but even that's a bit of a stretch. It was just way too long. And like, I don't know, having 9 just create all these robot duplicates just made what's his name, Metal Sonic in Season 2 just feel so much less interesting and significant. You know, whereas there's like robots literally everywhere in this one. So, I don't know. Season 3, unfortunately, a bit of a letdown. By the time I finished it, I was just happy to get it over with. Like overall, the premise of the show is interesting, a little cliche. Writing could have been better. The animation's phenomenal. The animation's great. Like this is definitely the best animated Sonic show we've gotten in terms of, I guess, 3D animation, I should say. But even compared to something like Sonic X, this is way higher budget and way more visually appealing. So definitely a fan of that. And I mean, compared to Sonic Boom, say we will about the character designs, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's great because I really enjoyed season 2. It does some interesting things with flashbacks and stuff. I really enjoyed season 2. Season 1 was all right. And season 3, unfortunately, was just completely ruined for me because of that. It was literally filler. They drawed it out so much. It did not need to be that long. It really did not need to be. It was a lot of like, oh, we're going to advance on 9. Oh, setback. All right, next episode. Repeat, rinse, and repeat. And it was like 4 or 5 episodes of that. It was pretty bad. But unfortunately, it is the way it is. And I mean, hopefully, like, the premise of the show had some really good stuff. And I'd say most of it was decent. I would describe the show as decent. Nothing fantastic. Definitely, I personally enjoy it more than Sonic Boom, but it's hard to compare because it's a completely different tone, like I mentioned earlier. But I do think that is a step in the right direction for Sonic cartoons. Just improve the writing maybe a little bit, and just, I think unfortunately it's Netflix kind of budget. It's probably, I mean, feel free to let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but it really feels like Netflix screwing them over and making them draw out this whole segment for a third season. It really felt like a climactic 2, maybe 3 episode battle, but it was the whole season, you know, it was a bit long. So wish they had cut back on that. Hopefully, I don't see Netflix being any better anytime soon. So hey, hopefully they do a show that's not just on Netflix, honestly, at that point. And hey, hopefully we'll see another Sonic cartoon in the future. They can take a break from this for now, but at some point in the future, it was still great to see a new cartoon finally show up, and the premise just being overall better than something like Sonic Boom, in my opinion. But with that, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about what you thought about Sonic Prime Season 3 in particular. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know what your favorite parts about the show were, your least favorite parts, and hey, thanks for watching. I will catch you all on the next video or live stream. I will have more Sonic content in the future on the channel, I am sure, if you're interested. And until then, take care, go fast.